Hello and welcome. In this video we are going to find three consecutive odd integers such that the sum of the first 2 times the second and 3 times the third is 22. Now before we jump into solving this question, let's review what consecutive numbers are. It's very important that you understand this concept. Consecutive, even or odd, doesn't matter, they're the same. Sorry. Even or odd, the questions are done the same way. Integers. First of all, let's look at what consecutive integers are. So if I take any number, any integers, let's say that's a very basic one, 1, 2, 3. These are 3 consecutive integers. So are 4, 5, 6. So are 100, 101, 102. These are all examples of 3 consecutive integers. But if we look carefully at these questions, in the first group, 1 and 3 are odd, but 2 is even. In the second group, 4 and 6 are even, 5 is odd. And similarly, in the last group, 100 is even, 101 is odd, 102 is even. So if we just list numbers in sequence, we will never end up with 3 odd numbers or 3 even numbers in a row that are consecutive. So what do? We skip count, right? So if we skip counted from 1, 2, 3, and 5, now they are consecutive because they are next to each other. They come one after another. There is no other odd number I'm skipping in between. But they're not counting numbers, right? So we have 1, 3, 5 are odd. Similarly, if I start in this case, let's start with 4, 6, 8, skip counting. Then all the integers are even. Similarly, let's say in the last example, 100, skip count 102 and 104. All the 3 numbers are even, right? So now let's take a look at how we can write 3 consecutive even or odd numbers if we don't know the first one. So I don't know what my first one is, so every time we don't know something, we say it's an X in math. Now if we compare 1 and X, and I wanted to write 3 in terms of X, how can I write? I know 3 is 2 more than 1. So if I use the same relationship and say X plus 2 should be the next odd number, then we'll check if that's true or not. Using the same rule, let's change the color here. 1, which is our X, and 5 they're related. How? 5 is 1 plus 4. So that means our third consecutive even or odd number would be X, the first one, plus 4. Right? Let's test this out and let's say X is equal to 7. That means X plus 2 is 7 plus 2 equals 9. Similarly, X plus 4 equals 7 plus 4 equals 11. Are 7, 9, and 11 odd? Yes, they are. Are 7, 9, and 11 consecutive? Yes, they are, because we are not missing any odd number in between. So that means if we had to write 3 consecutive odd numbers, then we would take that sequence as x. Those numbers, we'll assume those would be x, x plus 2, and x plus 4. Now this was just an overview of consecutive even or odd numbers. If you're familiar with it, you can skip all this and go to the next part. But if you're not familiar with consecutive even or odd integers, pay attention to this first part of this video. All right, now let's get to the question now. All right, so we just said that if we have 3 consecutive odd integers, let those be x, x plus 2, and x plus 4. In our question, it says the sum of, that means we are going to be adding these numbers. The sum of the first, which is just x, 2 times the second. So this is our second number. 2 times of that number means 2 times x plus 2. And 3 times the third. So our third number is x plus 4. 3 times x plus 4 is, and is always means equals, 22. Right? So we have one equation, we solve for x, and then we can find the 3 consecutive odd integers. So let's distribute 2 and open up the brackets. 2x plus 4 plus, now distribute 3. 3x plus 12 equals 22. Collect the like terms and solve for x. This is really easy after that. You subtract 16 from both sides, you get 6x is equal to 6, x is equal to 6 over 6, just 1. So our first number is, odd integer is x, which is 1. The next one would be x plus 2, that means x plus 1 plus 2, I'm sorry, is 3. The last one should be x plus 4, that means 1 plus 4 equals 5. So our required numbers are 1, 3, and 5. And you can quickly check if you want to. You could say, let me check if the answer what I got is correct or not. So you could go the first number plus 2 times the second plus 3 times the third is 1 plus 6 plus 15 equals 22.